Welcome back to The Key. I'm so excited to break this down. Solo cast me to you. Here's what we're going to talk about today: why luxury homes don't sell themselves and what actually moves them. Let's start with the general truth. Luxury homes really don't sell themselves. They are beautiful, and while they sit beautifully, they are quietly judging our pricing. Because in a higher price point, you guys, buyers, they're not just buying a house, they're buying a standard. And that standard applies to presentation, marketing, and really important strategy. Today, I want to share exactly why luxury listings may stall and what actually sells them. If you're a luxury homeowner, maybe a future seller, or even a buyer who wants to understand this market, I hope this episode will help. Luxury in Columbus, Ohio, it can mean different things. It might mean a certain price point, of course, but it also could mean premium location, custom finishes, great privacy, unique architecture, lifestyle features, and higher expectations. There are 3 big reasons luxury homes sit. So let's break it down. First, pricing that is aspirational instead of strategic. What do I mean by that? Luxury is not immune to pricing reality. If anything, the pricing is actually more sensitive because the buyer pool is smaller, it's pickier, and usually not in a giant rush. I know the temptation. You never know. Someone just might fall in love and pay for it. Sure. And I might wake up one day craving celery juice, but we don't build selling strategy on miracles, you guys. If you start too high, you don't test the market. You're actually training the market to ignore you. And once buyers mentally categorize you as overpriced, it's really hard to get them back. Number 2, exposure. Either not enough or the wrong kind. This one is huge. Luxury marketing isn't just pretty pictures and vibes. It's targeted, it's strategic, it's distributed in the right places. Because getting 15,000 views from people who can't or won't buy the home, it's not a flex, it's noise. What luxury needs is you need the right buyers and you need the right agents and you need the right positioning so people instantly understand why it's priced the way it is. All right, number 3, presentation. It just doesn't match the ask. We've all seen it, where there's just an instant disconnect. If you're asking for a premium price, the home has to feel premium on day one. Meaning you're not just ignoring the carpet situation, or you're giving some sort of credit for flooring or paint or landscaping or the lighting. Like it feels like you're in a dentist office instead of feeling like you're in a warm, amazing home that you just don't want to leave. That means the presentation includes everything: condition, styling, staging, lighting, and all of the media that you're going to use to promote this home. Here's the sassy truth, you guys. If the photos look like they were taken during a thunderstorm, we're not asking $1 million. We're just not. And yes, I've had to have this conversation more than once. So what actually sells luxury? Here's what moves luxury in real life. Pricing strategy is the data plus psychology. We use comps, obviously. But luxury comps, they can be a little messy and a little tricky. Sometimes there's fewer sales, sometimes it's just more unique, and a wider range of why was it priced like that? So here's the deal. We have to dig deeper. We look at comparable solds and the actives. We also are going to look at buyer behavior in that segment. What really is going on and what really is the motivation in that certain price range? Let's look for patterns. Let's look for patterns in days on market and also seasonality. Seasonality might be coming back a little bit, so we can't ignore it. Then we price in a way that creates momentum, not just a maybe let's try this. Because here's the deal, you guys. Sometimes sellers feel like pricing strategically means they're leaving money on the table. But what really leaves money on the table is sitting, starting too high, stagnating, price reductions, chasing the market. A listing that starts to feel like it has a backstory when it might not, but we've created doubt. We also need prep that's curated, not cluttered. Luxury buyers do not want to work hard to imagine their life there. So let's make it as easy as possible for them to see themselves living in this home. That means they want to walk in and feel, this makes sense. This feels easy. And that means here are the things we're going to tackle. We're going to declutter. Even if you're already clean and organized, luxury needs to be edited. We're also going to repair what buyers are going to notice because yes, they notice everything. And we want it to make it feel effortless, like make this feel so easy for them to see themselves in this home. Here's a relatable truth, you guys. The luxury sellers are often living in the home while they're trying to sell it, which honestly is a special kind of chaos. You're like, please fall in love with my house while also hiding dog bowls, chargers, Amazon boxes, and just your will to live. We get it. All right, what we also need, marketing that's editorial and strategic. You guys know my love for marketing and branding, and here's the deal. When we get into luxury marketing, it's storytelling. It's storytelling plus distribution. So what do I mean by that? We're going to tell the story about the house, and then we're going to tell it to the right people. So things that we're going to need, for sure, the most amazing photography and videography that feels editorial. Because again, it's not just the home, it's the life that somebody is going to live inside this home that they need to see. Video that shows flow and lifestyle, not just quick snippets, but really get people to understand, like, this is how you can live in this home. Here's, I love to walk through it in a way that you would walk through it every day. So if you're coming in the back door, here's kind of your route, not disjointed. You want somebody to really understand the flow of the home. Any of the words that we're using, the copy, it sells the experience. It's not just about stats. Targeted digital reach, basically, like, we are going to go to the people who likely are a candidate for this home. No, we're not going to wait for them to find us. And one of my most favorites is a proactive agent to agent outreach, because the name of the game in this business in Columbus, Ohio, is the network that you have with your colleagues and your competitors, candidly. I love reaching out to agents who I think would be a great co-op and filling them in on a property and seeing if they might have a buyer, because it works. Reality is, the right buyer, they might not be scrolling at midnight on Zillow. They might actually be working with their agent, and they might be traveling, and they might have a busy work schedule, and they're just casually waiting for the right thing. So one of my favorite tricks of the trade is get that right thing in front of the agent and let the agent be the hero in presenting it to their client. Works every time. Okay, when it comes to these luxury homes, the first 7 to 10 days on the market, it really matters. Luxury isn't necessarily always going to sell in the first 48 hours. And you know what? That's fine. But the first week, it still really is everything. That's when you're fresh. That's when it's exciting. That's when new alerts go out to all buyers in this price range. So if you miss that window because you launched underprepared or perhaps overpriced, you spend the next month doing what we call digital CPR, and it's exhausting for everyone. All right, let's get into the brain of the luxury buyer. The luxury buyer, they're buying, what are they buying? They're buying privacy and ease. They're buying lifestyle and flow. They're buying quality and craftsmanship. And most of the time, they're buying a home that makes their day-to-day smoother. No one wants a stunning house with a chaotic daily routine. If the kitchen is gorgeous, but the pantry's in another zip code, it's probably a no. And luxury buyers, they're also buying confidence. They want to feel like the home and the transaction and every part of the process is being handled at a high level. Here are some mistakes to avoid. Over personal styling that doesn't translate. This is where we're going to edit, but I always use the phrase, the second we decide that we're going to sell, you have to remove yourself from the home. Meaning you've got to edit the personality, not to a point where it feels like a vanilla box, but you've got to edit it down so someone else can see themselves in the space. Second thing, ignoring small condition issues. If you know something is broken, or maybe there's a faucet that's just jiggly and you've been dealing with it for a year because it's not a big deal, those are the things go ahead and take care of, because luxury buyers, they notice everything. And the other mistake is testing the market too high. Testing the market is like, it's like wearing uncomfortable shoes, you guys. It's like, yes, we could do that, but why? What's the point? Here's the deal. Sometimes when we're talking about the pricing, it's an emotional thing for the sellers. And that's really normal because it is your house and there are memories wrapped up in all of this. So I get it. It is emotional. But let's remember who we're talking to. To get this done, we need the buyer. And the buyer is not emotionally buying. They're comparing, they're calculating, they're evaluating, they're number crunching, and they know this like it's their full-time job. I hope you guys found this list helpful. I think at the end of the day, it's very easy for us in the industry to say if something is sitting its price. It's not always the case, but I do think if you took anything away from this, please know that the strategy that goes into the pricing is one of the biggest things that myself as a real estate agent can offer to you to get you hopefully the highest number. So if you are listening to this and perhaps you're considering selling maybe in the next 6 to 12 months, it's never too early to have the conversation. You can reach out to me and it's just a conversation. It's not an obligation, but I will go to my grave on the sword that strategy is at the crux of being successful. Luxury, it isn't list it and just hope. It's positioning, and it's positioning on purpose. Thank you so much for tuning in. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Please subscribe, you guys, and share this with a friend so you don't miss the next conversation. I've always been so excited to go on this journey with you. And until next time, remember, the key is in the details, and the journey, it's just as important as the destination.